Welcome back to Art Sparks. I'm Taryn, watercolor artist living in Silicon Valley, and we have, come on, my friend.
Hello, I'm Sieglinde. I'm an abstract artist living in Silicon Valley, and we have a special guest today, gallery owner Jen Tuff from the Jen Tuff Gallery. Welcome, Jen.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Jen has a fabulous adventurous gallery story, which we're going to let her tell herself. But a little bit of background: before Jen was a gallery owner, she was the art director for Warner Bros. Records, Urban Outfitters, Hollywood Records, and numerous magazines. Her client work also includes Nike, dozens of projects for Drew Carey, and numerous publication and book design projects. And we're going to come back to these book design projects. She also received numerous awards for art direction, named One to Watch for the 2000s in Metropolis magazine, and she was named an art star by Northern California Women's Caucus for Arts. Woo! And we have her on our channel. She's also juried and curated numerous national and regional exhibitions, and graduated BFA of Honors from Ohio State University, attended the Art Academy of Cincinnati, and studied in West Africa with Parsons. But today, we're talking to Jen about her gallery adventure because, can I tell them a little bit?
Absolutely.
So she formed her first gallery a few weeks after Donald Trump was elected, and she opened her doors in the Bay Area in California, where we live, in 2017. And then she decided to move her gallery to Santa Fe, New Mexico in March 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic. But you are so innovative, you turned it around into a new gallery concept. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get there, can we ask you, you have such an amazing, impressive career already before opening your gallery. When and why did you decide to open that very first gallery?
Well, I have a very dear friend in Los Angeles who's owned a gallery for a long time, probably almost 30 years now, very contemporary art. And, I was an artist a long time ago. And when Donald Trump got elected, I thought, you know what? The world needs more art. It doesn't need gold-plated furniture and McDonald's and hatred. And, to me, art is everything that is not Donald Trump. And that was my inspiration. I also thought, you know what, if this guy can get elected president, I can open an art gallery.
I like that.
So, as crazy as it might seem, I went ahead and did it, and it was great. I loved it.
That's awesome.
What type of artwork or artist inspires you the most? When you decided to open that, which one attracts you the most? Or makes you...
Well, it's changed why I bring artists in. In the beginning, it was more directly, I really like this personally. And then in order to keep the business afloat, you have to start thinking about what's going to sell and what direction do I want to take the gallery in, visually, aesthetically. What do I want to stand for as a business, that kind of thing. So other things started coming into play with that. And it's kind of evolved into work that not only I think is aesthetically pleasing and beautiful, but also has something else beneath it. There's a reason for the work greater than just the artist's own impression of the world. Work that says something, that has a message, that has a meaning, some kind of deeper purpose of it being there and deeper reasoning of showing it in the gallery. So I've shown some political artists, and I try to mix it up. I try to have a nice balance of different things. I definitely have a passion for showing what I call re-emerging artists. So it's artists that primarily women who worked in other fields for a long time or raised children, and then are returning to art. So for whatever reason, they had to put their career on hold, a few years ago or 20 years ago, and then are re-emerging, are coming back to the art scene. And I have a real passion for older artists over 40, particularly over 50. because there's a lot of diversity in the world.
Those are not old. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Older.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of, like a lot of contemporary art galleries look for those younger artists that they can invest in. And, that's sort of the norm. And, everyone talks about diversity, but they don't talk about adding older people into that diversity mix. And, I think that's one thing that I sort of just naturally gravitated to. And I found that a lot of artists that sort of gravitate to me are, sort of fit that realm. And, it's great to be able to offer them some exposure where a lot of galleries just sort of overlook them.
Right.
So that's something I'm interested in as well.
Well, and from what it sounds like, those people, the work may have more meaning, but also them as a person are more solid and more life experience, or more to share.
Yeah.
As something to take away from the art beyond it looks nice on my wall. And then I believe there was a discussion recently about that young artists are good for the market, or older artists, like really older, like 70 and up, right? Mm-hmm. And it's that age group in the middle that you're just talking about that is often overlooked, and yet has a lot to say and a lot to share. I really like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have such a richer experience that just, years give you. And I think in the United States, there's such a common, youth is so praised and prized. Whereas, this in the United States, older people are disregarded. And that's a shame. I just think that's, they just have so much to offer and so much to say and so much more depth and richness a lot of times to their work purely because of life experience and more time on the planet. You learn a lot more things generally. So, and they've had a lot more time to practice their craft.
And they have business experience, or more like they have more experience altogether, not just as an artist, as an well-being, as everything. Like, they know they're committed, they're more responsible. Well, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a long, big advertisement for the people around.
Yeah. Well, and it perfectly ties in with a recent artist interview we did that says, like, when you're young, you bring a lot of technique, an amazing technique, but to really bring that deeper message, it takes time, because you really need to live life first, because otherwise it may come across as you're being a reporter or an observer that mimics it, instead of having your message come from personal experience. And when it comes from personal experience, people can tell that they resonate more with that kind of work.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely show younger artists, but I'm not exclusively, I don't have any hard lines with that, but I do definitely appreciate what older artists bring to the table.
Do you have a specific message when you're thinking right now about the gallery? You wanted to, so when you're choosing the people, is there a message underneath that all, or?
You mean the message that I'm portraying to the public with who I'm choosing? I definitely want to have a wide variety of work. I think I've chosen artists in all different mediums, all different styles, but, there's a commonality of just really high quality work, in my opinion, very, highly edited. And, so the message would just be that, this is quality artwork that's, still affordable, and it's also, investment quality. I think what I found is that a lot of people don't even consider art as an investment. And it's a great investment. I know that personally from buying art years ago, and it's done really well now. So I want that to be an aspect too. That goes along with, the artists that I select. I think that their work is going to increase in value, which is also really good for anyone purchasing it and, collecting from me. So.
Right. Interesting. That could be a whole other topic of discussion that we may need to have some time about art as an investment, because there's a lot of different voices going on there. Whereas, well, if I buy it as an investment, my great grandchildren will benefit from it because I'm not going to sell it. But then there's still the mentality, right? Of like, you're not just buying another object to have, there is lasting value.
Mm-hmm.
So we may just need to pick that back up, Jen.
Yeah. Well, you can also invest, just, in a really hot artist that is, 5 or 10 years, you could actually flip it and, make some money. So there's also the idea of that, along with, investment for passing on to your children.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another thing that I think people, don't consider, just making some money on art.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So Jen, you are now launching the Jen Tough Gallery 2.0. And I find it a very innovative concept, because you have the option to go back to a brick and mortar, and you choose not to. You choose to stay online.
Yes.
With a few specific focuses. And tell us a little bit about that, because you may just be paving the way for a new gallery market model.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but that's nice. I feel really comfortable in the online space. So the brick and mortar is not something that I want to even consider for at least a year, because we don't know if there's going to be new variants cropping up. When the government stepped in and said, rightfully so, you're shut down, which was literally like 2 days before my grand opening was supposed to happen in Santa Fe. The risk of that happening again, because you're a non-essential business. So, you have to sign a multi-year lease. It's very expensive to rent commercial space. So, I'm not even thinking about doing that for a long time. So the Gallery 2.0 and just doing online sales, I'm going to be on Artsy. I'm going to be utilizing every other online portal that has a lot of traffic. First Dibs, Artsy, and plus I'm going to have a very robust website that's actually going to have auctions on it as well. So you can bid on the artwork, which I think will be really much more exciting than just going and maybe putting it in your cart or whatever. It's going to be, it'll be much more interesting. There's more artist profile. There's, more ways to get to know each artist that I'm representing. And, we'll see how it goes. It's another experiment, but I'm excited about it for sure.
Yeah, it sounds interesting about it, because it's more interaction with the person who's looking at it, and then with the artist as well.
And then I wanted to go back for a moment to one of your concepts for the Gallery 2.0, and that is your exhibitions in a book. Because you have a background in book publication. And so that will be, on your very interactive platform. I can't wait to see it all in action. Sounds so exciting. But you also have the exhibitions in a book. And I know a little bit more about that from working with you. But so you really, it's not just artist profiles, but you really select artists and then select their work as if it were a gallery exhibition, right? And then that becomes the book. Tell us a little bit about that, because what a great way for people to get their feet wet in buying art, or getting well versed in art by buying such a book.
Yeah, it is great promotion for the artists who are included in it. They can bring it to art fairs, they can have it, there for open studios, and it really gives a lot of, for the artists who are included in the book, it gives them a lot of credibility, from being published. They can include that on their resume, et cetera. And it's a wonderful way to just introduce more people to those artists in a different format. There's a lot of people who aren't online. They don't like to, scroll Instagram and follow artists, for instance. So, but they might, pick up a book and learn about artists that way and see what kind of work that they have. But yeah, so I have 3 books coming out. They should be coming out probably in September. We got a little delayed with stuff. But I have one called Artists of the Bay Area, one called Wildlands, and one called Fun Size, which is going to be a tiny book of tiny art.
Ooh, super cool. Super cool. So in addition to using this as your gallery concept, you're also really giving back to artists through these book publications. And let's talk a little bit about that, because in addition to your gallery, what you did last year when COVID hit and we were all turned upside down, you launched a very vibrant artist community, the Artist Alliance. You're a busy woman.
Yep.
So tell us, from all these things that you do, where is your heart the most?
I don't know. It's kind of everything. I like everything. I mean, I love art and I love artists. So all of those things encompass art and artists. And, the Artist Alliance was definitely, at first it was an experiment. I didn't know if it was going to work. And it turned out to be so much better than I ever thought it would be. It's the most supportive, fun, amazing group of people. I mean, I really didn't know, is it going to be like Facebook where I'm going to have to moderate arguments and, you know what I mean? I had no idea what was going to happen. And I have never had to moderate anything. Everyone is so great to each other. And everyone learns so much from each other. The power of community there is just, it's overwhelming. And that all the incredible aspects of that everyone can benefit from. So it's definitely one of my favorites. There's everything. I like everything that I'm doing right now. There's more things that I have in the works, but I have to pace myself. So
wow. Well, congratulations on the success of Artist Alliance, and thank you. And wow, I can't wait what else you come up with, because it's were you able to extend the 24-hour day into 36 hours? Because when do you do it all?
Yeah, it's actually, it's not, the Artist Alliance is, I spend maybe not that much time a day. It depends. It varies dramatically, but the hard part, the really time consuming part was setting it up and establishing it and advertising to try to get members and things like that. But now it's not as much time as it was, in the beginning, the first few months. So I can kind of, take on more projects as I go. And with the books right now, they're with the designer, and, they have been for a while actually. So that's kind of off my plate right now. So I have some good help.
That's
awesome.
Nice. Yeah,
awesome.
That's nice. And I love the book idea, because I think it's the bridge that we're trying to do right now of the people who don't know much about art. So it's a good invitation to say, look, what is it? Just to see what you like, what inspires you, what gets your blood pumping. I don't know. So I think it's good that thing about just a little peek of what is around you. It's cool. But in your gallery, what do you want the people to expect, or what can people expect from when they interact with Gentile Gallery? What do you want them to feel, or what would you like to say to them so they could be, I don't know, so maybe visit you, or
that I'm friendly. I try to be anyway. Easygoing, and I just love art. It's just there's no sort of threshold of knowledge or something that people have to understand to, people either like a piece or they don't. And usually it's pretty ineffable about why you do, until you're more trained in talking about art, and that's fine. That's exactly what, I want, and every art seller, dealer wants, is, people who just resonate with the work for whatever reason. So as far as the Gallery 2.0 and being all online, it's going to be, there's probably going to be a different approach versus when I had the brick and mortar and people would walk in. So we'll see how that unfolds, but hopefully people will take away that, I'm not some snobby a-hole, unapproachable, because I get that too, when I go in galleries and, the people are so cold, and, I definitely, I try not, I don't think I'm like that. So, I try, I don't think I am. So
we don't invite people like that to our podcast, and we invited you. So,
okay, that's good. Well, yeah. So yeah, just that it's, buying art is, it can be fun and easy, and it's just about what you like at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. And so going online, do you have anything extra to say to people who are hesitant about buying art online, or who just don't see that happen in their world right away? What would you say to them?
Give it a try. Because, the art world, the art market is growing online exponentially. And just like you would buy a sofa online and not really think twice about it, I'm sure most people do that now. They're buying furniture online. A lot of the art that I'm selling is probably less expensive than a sofa, but it's going to increase in value, whereas a sofa is not. So, be comfortable with it. Trust that, you've got somebody. I'm not going to sell junk. And, in my opinion, everything that I'm selling is going to be worth more even in a couple of years. Mm-hmm. So, it's a great thing. And if you get the piece, it's shipped to you and you hate it, you can always return it. So,
wow, what a guarantee. And if people watch the entire interview, Jen just gave you the perfect reason to work with a reputable gallerist. And that is that she's very precise about which art and which artist she selects. And she's guaranteeing the quality, not just from a sales point perspective, but also because your reputation is linked into it, right? And you don't want to sell art or artists that you don't stand behind and that you don't, in your honest expertise, say, this is quality and this is going to improve, and you have a lengthy track record to be able to make those calls, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why it's good to get to know a dealer, and trust their, and, if you have a similar taste, and trust their vision for who they're carrying, because their name usually is on it. Like most galleries have the person's name on it. And you're right. It's there's a reason for that. There's a reason why people put their names on their galleries, because their reputation's on the line too. So I certainly don't want to sell stuff that people don't like or they think is, crappy or whatever.
Exactly. So if people want to start engaging with you today after this interview, what would be the best way to start that process? Where can they find you and what can they do?
Well, that would be awesome. Thank you. If you're interested in doing that. If you're an artist and you're interested in joining the Artist Alliance, please go to artistalliancemembership.com, artistalliancemembership.com, and you can sign up for the waiting list. Right now, our open enrollment is closed, but we do open it when people leave or whatever. So please, it's the greatest community. I'd love to have you guys. And if you're interested in purchasing art, you can go to jentuff.gallery. So those are 2 ways to get involved.
And do you have a newsletter or something that they could sign up for? Or
you can go to Jentuff Gallery, jentuff.gallery, and there's a newsletter sign up right there, and you can get on the gallery newsletter. If you're interested in joining the Artist Alliance, you can sign up for be on the waiting list, and you'll get Artist Alliance newsletters. I only send out newsletters like every couple weeks for the gallery, so you're not going to get slammed with stuff, but that's definitely the best way to, find out what's going on, what's coming up. You can also shoot me an email at jen@jentuff.gallery.
Right. And that's also a good way for people to get to know you.
Sure.
Right.
And that you're friendly and approachable.
I try.
Yes. So they will know too. Don't be shy about it. And any other thoughts of wisdom you want to pass along to our people?
I don't think so. For artists, keep trying. It's a weird new world out there. Be adventurous, right? And if anyone's interested in buying art, send me an email.
Well, I would tell them too. It's a whole new adventurous world out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do something that you haven't done before.
Yes.
Well, Jen, thank you so much for being with us today. And
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you all for watching. And as always, please subscribe. This would really help us in the algorithms, and share this interview with Jen Tuff of the Jen Tuff Gallery with anybody who could benefit from the content that she just shared with us. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Jen. Bye.
Thanks for having me, you guys. Good to see you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.